Welcome to Animated Tops and Flops, where we dive into the best and worst episodes of your favorite animated series. My name is Alyssa.
And my name is Janice. We are voice actors who love cartoons and have a lot of opinions about them. So come and join us on our tour of Springfield as we continue to talk about The Simpsons. Today's top, we are going to talk about episode 12 of season 4, an iconic episode, Marge versus the Monorail, rated at a 9.1.
I cannot wait. For our flop today, we are going to be talking about episode 1 of season 26, Clown in the Dumps, rated at a 5.7. But Janice, we have another guest with us today.
Yes, we do.
We are so excited. This human being has just recently jumped into our lives and we love her to pieces. She made our theme music that I'm sure you all love so much. I love it very much.
Obsessed.
And without further ado, we would like to introduce you, Kimmy.
Hi, with my BFF, Thrill-Ho.
Yes, we love it.
Fuck it up. Okay, Kimmy. Marge versus the Monorail is your favorite episode, correct?
Yes, by far. And I will repeat this until the end of time. It is truly the greatest thing ever, and I'm already I'm about to start ranting about it. It's created by my husband, Conan O'Brien. It is it's clearly earned its very, very high rank.
Absolutely.
Amazing. All right.
Let's get into it.
Janice, do you want to hit us with that synopsis?
Yeah, we're going to keep it short and sweet because we got a lot to talk about on this episode.
Oh, yeah.
So, synopses. After collecting a $3 million fine from Mr. Burns for illegal disposal of nuclear waste, Springfield holds a town meeting to decide what to do with the money. A smooth-talking stranger named Lyle Lanny talks the townspeople into spending the money on a needless monorail built from shoddy materials.
May I interject?
Yes. Already, let's go.
Let's do it.
Actually, it's Lyle Lamley, which is a
Lyle
parody of the
Lamley!
main character from My Fair Lady, which
Yes.
is one of Conan O'Brien's favorite musicals. Conan O'Brien is also my husband, so.
A little
If you
Easter
didn't know that,
egg.
Kimmy is 100% married to Conan O'Brien.
Yes.
Yes, Conan is taken.
Bye, Kimmy.
Yes, and we defend her.
Anyway, not to actually you, Janice, but I'm like, ooh, we're gonna talk
Thank
about
you.
the
Thank you.
It's gonna
That
be
is
like
my.
that kind of podcast.
I need my glasses. They're packed away and
You're
not
packed
in the
away.
booth.
Speaking of Conan O'Brien, he is, in fact, the writer of this episode. The
Episode.
writer of this episode. He's also written, obviously, his own shows, but he's written 34 episodes of The Simpsons, including this one.
That's impressive.
I know, right? The director of this episode is Rich Moore, who's also done The Simpsons, but then also worked on Zootopia, Wreck-It Ralph, and Futurama, and Ralph Breaks the Internet. Gotta keep with the sequels.
All of our favorite things.
I know.
I mean, wow.
Okay, that I didn't know about Wreck-It Ralph. That's actually just kind of out of left field for me, but not really.
Right? We talk about this all the time. The directors and the writers for our tops have always gone on to do like amazing things, and it makes sense with like the episodes that we see because they are very the way that they're written makes sense with like the other work that they've done. It correlates in the way like it's usually very straightforward. There's like a very structured theme. The zingers and one-liners are well played and placed perfectly. So it's
Well, that and also I was thinking of like from the Simpsons movie. I mean, there's also a zinger where Bart is kind of talking about how like Mickey Mouse is taking over, and then now Fox is obviously absorbed Disney. No,
Yes.
Disney absorbed Fox.
Disney consumed Fox.
There we go.
Yes.
Disney ate Fox. There we
Yes,
go.
I love to say consumed because corporations consume.
all right, the air date for this episode is January 14th, 1993.
Damn.
Yeah, this is one of the older episodes. Obviously with season 4, but like when you think about it in terms of what year it was put out there is crazy. I was 2 years old.
I was also 2 years old.
I was also 2 years old.
Whoa!
Hooray for millennials!
Wow.
Wow, look at us. Let's let's get into the fun stuff of this episode.
Yeah.
Kimmy,
Yes.
I want you to tell me why this is your favorite episode.
Okay. I mean, I already started off with the obvious, which is, my husband. But also, I just feel like there's just so many jokes that are crammed into this episode. And starting from, like, one of my favorite intros, not the couch gag, but, like, an intro where Homer's driving and he's singing the Flintstones theme song. Yeah. And he, like, runs into a chestnut tree. And I'm just like, it's just, like, second after second after second, there's always just such a good joke. So I really appreciate that. I also appreciate how just, I don't know, I feel like Conan, I can't stop talking about him, but just the way that he wrote episodes, I read somewhere that, like, he really did shape how The Simpsons then started, like, moving forward with their very just, out there comedy. I feel like in earlier seasons, it was very more, like, down to earth, very, like, just humble beginnings, but then it just gets wacky and wacky and wackier. And you can kind of see that in the end of the episode where Marge starts listing off all the other failed ideas that Springfield did, such as the escalator that goes nowhere, and people are just, like, kind of climbing on it and falling off. Mm-hmm. And also just, I don't know, the guy who Homer's hoping is Batman, but he's, like, an evil scientist. There's just so many random things that happen. And, also, I always appreciate a musical moment, which is obviously the Monorail song.
I mean, one of the best songs by far.
We love a original musical moment.
Yes.
It's so good. I wish that, like, and I'm going to be very, very frank about this. I don't really watch the newer seasons. I'm going to
totally fair.
We don't
totally fair.
That they don't do as many musical moments as they did back when The Simpsons was in its prime.
See, they do and they don't. They don't do original music as much anymore, but they do a lot of parodies of musicals.
Yeah.
And it's never as good when they do it. It just doesn't hit the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, what's an example? Can you?
What was the one we just did? We had a Les Mis one.
Yeah, there was, like, a Les Mis parody song within the episode
about two horses getting it on.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So they'll, like, throw some of that in. One of the episodes.
Story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a West Side Story one where I don't know. It was like Lisa's. It was Lisa with an S, and she's trying to get into, like, jazz camp or something. And
yeah, it opened up with tonight, da 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 da. But it was all about Elaine Stritch, so that kind of made sense because it was like, oh, she was a Broadway star, so that, like,
They never hit the same.
Dang,
no.
That's kind of unfortunate because I really love their original stuff. Like, I know that they parodied a lot of musicals back then, but also they had their own fair share of original content that we all love and grew up listening to.
Yes. Kimmy, do you have any, like, favorite one-liners?
This one honestly lives rent-free in my head.
You're like, can I say the whole episode?
I'm gonna from top to bottom, starting with the Flintstones parody. No, it's actually Bart is helping Homer study for the monorail test. And Bart's just really impressed, and he's like, wow, Dad, you're really going to be a monorail conductor one day. And Homer's like, would you like to change your name to Homer Jr.?
Oh my God,
your friends can call you Hojo. And Bart's like, I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, I have that written in my notes too. I'm like, it's so good.
I just remember, oh my God, it for some reason, it just lives rent free in my head. And I feel like I'm not going to have any kids, but if I ever had a kid and I named it Hoju, you bet your ass that.
Listen, nobody says you can't get a dog or a cat, name them Hoju.
Ooh, okay. So next pet I get named Hoju.
Perfect.
Yes.
People are going to be like, oh, what's that from? Like, The Simpsons.
Did you not know?
What? Crazy. Janice, what about you? Do you have any, like, favorite one-liners or tell us about your favorite mermans? I know you have many.
Oh, God, yes. I mean, the big one, I call it the big one Bitey. Like, that's one of my favorites for sure. But the other one is part of the song, Sorry, Mom, the mob has spoken. Like,
Monorail.
We love a mob mentality, especially when it breaks out in song
or
God, stroking guns. Like,
yes,
so like funny. Beauty and the Beast with their mob song
and their pitchforks. Yeah,
pitchforks. I can say it because Disney talk, so
Yeah.
now Beauty
It's
and the
all the
Beast
same.
and The Simpsons are in the same universe, I guess.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
Exactly.
the mob song from that movie was great.
Oh yeah. Oh god, we love a mob song. Yeah. Alyssa, what were some of your favorite moments and one-liners?
Oh my God. Well, let me start by saying the chalkboard gag.
Yes, tell us about the chalkboard gag and the couch gag, please.
Okay, so I only have the chalkboard gag because this was the first document I wrote, and I didn't do enough because I didn't know back then what I know now. But I have the chalkboard gag, and I know Kimmy knows the couch gag, so I'm gonna flip it over to Kimmy when I'm done with the chalkboard gag. So
Right.
the chalkboard gag is I will not eat things for money.
Have you ever eaten things for money, though? Raise your hand if you've eaten things for money. Okay, amazing. So we were all 2 years old when this episode was released, and we all ate things for money.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I think I got to the point where like I just stopped eating things for money and just did it for like effect. They're like, that fell on the ground, and I'm like, 5-second rule. They're like, this is the cafeteria, and I'm like, no.
5-second rule still applies.
Still applies.
Who lives here?
I know. I'm like, it's fine. Kimmy, what? Tell us about the couch gag for this one.
Okay, please. Is this the time where you can correct me and actually me? This is the one where I think it's just a bunch of like Simpsons characters like trying to squeeze in front of the Simpsons family on the couch, and they're trying to watch the TV too, right? Or am I so off?
Boop, boop, boop. I can. Oh,
Someone fact check me. I don't
Okay.
like spreading misinformation.
Misinformation.
Absolutely.
The family sits within seconds. The room fills with other regulars from the cast, totally blocking the family and obscuring their view.
Boom.
Nice.
Thank you for fact checking me.
You're welcome. Oh,
On
they even
top of
have.
it.
Oh my God. They even have. I'm looking at SimpsonsWiki.com, and they have every character that is in that room listed.
Ooh.
Read 'em.
Okay.
Starting off strong with Jasper Beardsley.
Jasper Beardsley!
Beardsley. Coming in with Jacqueline Bouvier, Patty Bouvier, Selma Bouvier, Kent Brockman, Charles Montgomery Burns, Eddie, Maud Flanders, Ned Flanders, Barney Gumble, Herman Herman, Julius Hibbert, Elizabeth Hoover, Edna Krabappel, Krusty the Clown, Lou, Automan, Nelson Muntz, Apu, Martin Prince, Princess Cashmere, Santa's Little Helper, Grandpa, Bart, Homer, Lisa, Maggie, Marge, Seymour Skinner, Smithers, Mo Sislak, Millhouse, and Clancy Wiggums.
Clancy.
Clancy Wiggums.
And also, did someone say Millhouse?
Millhouse.
That's right, Millhouse.
I love him. Actually, just watching that couch gag, it just brings so many nostalgic feelings into mind, and I'm comparing it to when I watched The Flop that we'll talk about, but I'm like, I don't know, it felt weird. Just seeing them kind of, never mind, I'm not going to get into it right now, but anyway,
Right.
it was nice to see old friends again.
Yeah, it reminded me I used to have a poster behind my bed when I was growing up, and it was every single character of The Simpsons.
I had that same freaking
Shut
poster.
up!
And it was kind of like Where's Waldo style, right?
Yes,
and they're all,
you're like,
yep.
you're like, someone, you gotta find Ralph, and so it was like, yeah, it was huge.
Yep.
Oh my God.
I didn't have that poster, so I guess I don't have that in common with you guys.
That's fine. You don't have to be a part of the Cool Kids Club. You can just be around us.
Exactly. We're already a community.
Mom
We
says
eat stuff
I'm
for money.
cool.
That's fine. You're wearing a shirt. I guess you can be a part of it.
I love it.
And your water bottle.
I'm thirsty.
For those of you that are watching, not on YouTube, Kimmy has a donut water bottle.
And it is
It is
fan-freaking-tastic.
wonderful.
Literally the best.
Okay. Other than the chalkboard gag and the couch gag,
Yeah.
there's some of these that like you guys have already said, and Hoju's on here, and I was so
Hoju's
happy
in there.
that you brought that up. I wrote when Bart's on the monorail and he like sticks his head out and then he pulls it back in because he like a telephone pole goes by, and I went, oh my God, Bart almost got hereditary.
He
like,
did!
Ooh, that's
I was like,
a
oh
solid
my
reference.
God.
Do you think Hereditary took their inspiration from that episode?
I'm gonna say yes.
I mean,
I mean,
this episode came first, so
It
way
did.
first. They're like,
It
we
did.
should do that. We should do
Yeah.
it, but then like actually have it happen. And they're like,
Yeah.
yes.
The Simpsons actually predicted Hereditary.
Yes.
so.
Therefore, A24 is Simpsons fans. Are Simpsons
I
fans.
wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked.
I mean,
That's true. You know what is shocking though? Whenever I come across someone who didn't watch The Simpsons growing up and doesn't care about The Simpsons,
I feel that way about people who have never heard of Harry Potter. It's like, what does that even
come
mean?
across those. Wow.
It's
They're like, I
these
think
are
I know,
big pop culture movements,
right?
you know?
They're like, I know like of it. Like it's about this kid that lives under stairs, and it's like parents beat him, and we're like, I don't understand how you don't know about this.
No, and also it's the uncle and aunt who's beating Harry Potter, not his dead parents. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Get it right. Actually.
Okay, so the one thing I do want to say for sure is when they mentioned EPA. And I got so excited. Because I was like, oh my God, is this the first time we see like the EPA? Like, because in the movie they're so prevalent and it's Albert Brooks and I fucking love Albert Brooks. But we only see the EPA in 2 episodes and the movie. And this is one of them. The other episode is the frying game.
Oh, wait, the frying game. Is that the one where they're trying to steal a bunch of oil or grease?
Oh, like he gets the grease and he's trying to pawn it off and like sell it to people, and like the person with the shoes comes in and dips them in their white. Is that
it? Oh no. Okay, we gotta get fact checked again.
For an anniversary gift, Homer gives Marge a koi pond for the backyard. The new pond attracts a caterpillar, the screamapillar.
Oh yeah, and it's an endangered species.
And then it's an endangered species.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
It just keeps screaming. It's like,
I literally just watched that episode last night too.
That's hilarious.
Dang.
That's hilarious. I love that reference with the EPA because I don't know, the movie was so good.
With EPA. I know.
EPA.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Anything else? Any other like moments you guys want to bring up?
Ooh.
Oh, I got a trivia fact.
Yes.
Oh, hit us.
Okay, so Conan O'Brien conceived the idea when he saw a billboard in Los Angeles that just had the word monorail on it with no other details or explanation. He first pitched the episode at a story retreat to Al Jean and Mike Reese, who said the episode was a little crazy and thought he should try some other material first. O'Brien had previously pitched episodes where Lisa had a rival and where Marge gets a job at the power plant and Mr. Burns falls in love with her. Both went well. James L. Brooks absolutely loved the episode when O'Brien presented it. So, good for you. Your husband did well.
I mean, he is a graduate of an Ivy League school, so.
Do we know which one? Was it Harvard? Was it Yale? Oh, it was Harvard. Very nice.
I should know this. I did a whole PowerPoint presentation on him for a PowerPoint.
I'm not shocked.
I mean, he's your husband. You gotta dig.
He is my husband. Also, to Conan, please don't send a restraining order against me. My heart on the off chance you happen to see this, please do not.
It's just a Stan account. It's just a Stan account.
Yeah, standing over here.
We're just talking how much we love.
Stand by the fans.
I have another fun fact. Very brief one, but the Monorail song was actually then performed live at one of the Hollywood Bowls with Conan O'Brien leading the charge, and it's with the Gay Men's Choir, I believe, of Hollywood, Los Angeles, or I can't remember, but some California city. And I thought that was really incredible. Touching. And it's also on YouTube, just in case y'all ever want to.
Oh my God! I love that so much.
Watch it. No, I watched it a lot.
Oh, that had to be fun.
Yeah.
A gay choir.
Yeah.
Just singing and
just singing the Monorail song.
They're so good though. That choir is like renowned.
Oh yeah. I mean, and they absolutely slayed this iconic song. I mean, this is the song that people think of when they think of The Simpsons, you know?
Yes.
This is definitely number one.
This is one of them. The actor that plays Lyle Lanley is Phil Hartman, who later came back as Troy McClure.
Yeah.
We love Troy McClure.
I know. I was listening. I'm like, his voice sounds so familiar. Why do I know him?
It's so good. Well, you might remember him from such animated series such as Simpsons.
Very
I'm Troy McClure.
Also, Saturday Night Live.
Yes. He was on
Mm.
152 episodes of SNL from 1985 to 1996.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he was on it.
He was on it, and also just R.I.P. Phil Hartman,
No.
because
Yeah.
man, yeah, like I feel like The Simpsons lost such a huge like heavy hitter of an actor, performer, comedian, and just like those two characters. Because I mean, when I watch the older episodes, I love getting to see Troy McClure.
Oh my God,
just
yes.
like be such a weird fish fucking sleazeball.
I like hearing like what we may have known him from because it's always different and it's always so weird.
Oh my God. Do you guys have any favorite like movie titles that he's ever done, or things that have just like stuck in your head because of how outrageous it is?
I've never remembered one. I just only ever remember like it's like a montage in my head of him going, "Hi, I'm Troy McClure," like in just different like situations, just like standing, sitting over here, over there. I never remembered one of his. Do you have one?
No.
I have. Oh, go Janice.
Sorry. My biggest one is just I think it's like an episode that leads into like not the crazy door. That's Futurama, but it was kind of like a Alfred Hitchcock type like episode. I think it was one of the Treehouse episodes, but he said the same thing. He's like, "Hi, I'm Troy McClure. Come here, baby." Like I don't know. That's all I remember. Long story short, that was it. That was awful. Cut that.
No. Cut it. I'm gonna drop some tea on y'all. I still, as an adult, I still avoid the Treehouse of Horror episodes because they used to scare me as a kid, and I'm still too scared to watch it.
Oh man. I just recently watched the one that we were talking about, Janice, the 33.
It was so good. It was an Emmy nominated. Okay, so Kimmy, there's this Emmy nominated
Emmy winning.
Treehouse of Horror. Emmy winning.
They won.
Excuse me. An
Yeah.
Emmy winning Treehouse of Horror episode. It is XXX111, which is 33, and
We already did
it
the
is
math on
fantastic.
this.
We already did the math.
You're
So
good at
they
Roman
parody.
numerals.
So they parody the Babadook. They parody Westworld, and I don't know why I keep skipping over the third
Death
Death
Note.
Note. And they did Death Note. Kimmy,
Oh,
it's
was that?
good.
I've heard of it because people have been sending it to me when it came out. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch it because
It's
I'm
not
too
scary.
scared.
I promise
Kimmy,
you.
it's good.
The newer ones are not scary. The older ones are terrifying.
Yes, the older ones are very
The
scary.
newer ones are not scary.
Okay, I could probably
No.
do that because I've definitely seen the anime Death Note. I've definitely seen all these seasons of Westworld, but canonically, the first season's the only one that counts.
That's all you really need to
Yeah.
see to know what's going on.
And honestly, like the Westworld one is probably the best one because they
Yes.
go back like to moments like this. The monorail. I call the big one Bitey. And
Oh
then
my
he like
God.
glitches out. I call the
Mhm.
big one Bitey. Where's my burrito?
burrito?
Where's my burrito?
burrito?
Like, the Homer glitches out, so he gets put in the thing with the rest of the Homers from the other parts of the Simpsons world, and it's fantastic. It's really, really well done. And the Death Note one, everyone is done up in pure anime, so like you get to see some really fun characters and
Yeah.
point them out in the background too. I'll be like, oh, that's Flanders, or that's Mrs. Lovejoy. Like, very cool. Highly recommend. And the Babadook one is probably the scariest of them all, but it ends sweet.
If you've seen the Babadook,
I have seen Babadook. I feel like
Yeah,
my
I
brain
think you'll be
kind of erased
fine.
it from memory because I I don't do well with horror films.
Oh gosh, I love them.
I like the thrill.
I love it when the animators kind of like put the Simpsons characters in different animated mediums.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was this one time in an earlier season where they made like a realistic or more realistic portrayal of like Bart Simpson and Maggie, where they look a little bit more human, but they're still a cartoon, and it's like freaking Homer out. I don't know if anyone remembers what I'm talking about, or
That's not where he goes through the warp, is it? Or
I think about that warp episode so much because I swear it was a fever dream and I couldn't find it for the longest time. And then when I finally found it, I'm like, ah, good, I'm not crazy.
the warp episode, Treehouse of Horror one, because
Yeah,
yeah,
it
no,
is.
it's not
'Cause
that.
I think-
They're just sitting at a kitchen table. That's all I remember.
okay.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll sleuth. We'll sleuth
We'll
around.
We'll
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Um,
Kimmy,
yes.
I think I already know the answer to this, but I want to hear it from your words, from your mouth, from your lovely, lovely voice. Do we think this deserves a 9.1 rating?
No,
Mm.
it does not. It deserves a 10.0.
I love it. Why? Out of this episode, knowing that it's already
Yeah.
your favorite,
Mm-hmm.
what makes this episode better than any other episode?
Not only that, but what makes it perfect?
Yes. What makes it that perfect 10.0?
That's okay. So whenever I try to introduce someone to The Simpsons, be it people that didn't grow up watching it, the Monorail episode is one of the very few ones that I kind of like gravitate towards. I'm like, watch this because I feel like this is just very classic, quintessential Simpsons. When they finally hit their comedy stride, thanks to my husband Conan O'Brien. But also, like I've said before, they have two separate types of musical moments where they parody the Flintstones theme song immediately, and already you're like, okay, this is going to be good because it's so wacky. And once again, you have obviously the Monorail song. Not only that, but I just feel like you really encounter some very wacky characters. I kind of mentioned him before, but the mad scientist. Where here's another line that's always like rent free in my head, where he's like, "Oh, I shouldn't have stopped for that haircut. It's too late to like stop the monorail." That's something that also lives rent free. But the fact that you just have so many timeless moments that I feel like people still reference in this day and age, either them being lines or just actual moments. I hope I'm making sense because
You are. You're sounding
I
very
feel
smart.
like I can just do a TED talk on this specific episode.
I'd go.
I feel like it means a lot to me too, because whenever I feel like really anxious or depressed, usually this is the episode that I go to because it's very comforting, it's very familiar, but also like it still makes me laugh no matter how many times I've seen it, and it's probably been well into the I don't even know, but I've seen it a lot. Let me see if there's any other parts that make it perfect. I think also just seeing the community just interact with each other. I always love those town hall moments because everyone is, you just get to see pretty much the whole town in one spot, and the way that they kind of banter off each other. You get to see Mr. Snrub. Which, fun fact, like a decade ago, I came across this really cool jazz like cover of Mr. Snrub. I don't know what this person did, but they took Mr. Snrub and they added some really cool saxophones behind it. So if you just look up Mr. Snrub jazz on YouTube, I'm sure you'll come across it.
Oh my.
There's a lot. I ranted. I don't even know if I made sense, but hey,
You did. You did. You sounded really smart too. I was like, she's killing it.
SMRT smart? Let's go.
SMRT.
SMRT. I mean, SMART. Okay, Kimmy, it's a weird thing that happened in this episode at the very beginning where Burns is like wheeled out very evilly on
Like
the
Silence of the Lambs.
yeah, like Silence of the Lambs style, and ends up buying the statue on the judge's desk. Like
that's, oh my god, that's another thing that I feel like it dates itself to us being like 2 years old. Silence of the Lambs. I feel like people nowadays are gonna be like, what is he doing in this like weird
People that don't know culture will say that.
yes.
That's facts.
Yeah.
I think, does anyone know like the little ditty that plays? I know it's a reference to something, probably from the 80s, but when Smithers is trying to like wheel out the barrels of ooze very sneakily, there's this like
You know what's funny? I did have it on here.
I'm just now thinking of like cultural references that came from the 80s and 90s that are very
Put it on the
prevalent.
Ritz. Is that Put It on the Ritz?
No. It's like oh man, now I gotta look it up because this might
It's
try to-
either the Riddle song or the theme from Beverly Hills Cop.
maybe the second one, but I'm not sure because I've never seen Beverly Hills Cop.
You should.
Yeah?
I was very against it because I'm like, ugh, like an 80s movie. Like, I hate cop movies too. And my sister was like, no, it's so funny. And I was like, fine. It was so funny. It's so good.
You know, I trust your judgment, so I might just have to watch it.
You should. You should. You'll enjoy yourself thoroughly, I think.
Yes. And then I'll know once and for all if the do song came from that too.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Because right now it sounds like Put It on the Ritz.
It does a little bit. I think it is
definitely
Beverly Hills
on.
Cop. I think it is because from what you're, the doos coming out of your mouth makes me.
Put It on the Ritz is do 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 do. Put it on the
Put
Ritz.
It on the Ritz.
Here we go.
That first part though, I was
I
like,
know,
that is the
first part, I'm
same
like, the same
thing.
You're
Hold
doing
on.
the same thing.
Oh,
But
man.
you are the music meister, the music master,
Meister.
because I'm thinking of like that.
Maestro.
There is, okay, Kimmy, are you a fan of The Adventures of Batman and Robin, like the newer kind of like cartoon Batman?
I've never seen it.
As a music person, I feel like you have to watch one episode. It is Neil Patrick Harris's debut as the Music Meister, the villain.
Whoa. Okay.
And he's so fucking good. And the song slaps. The song slaps.
Oh
I
my
feel like
God.
you need to watch it.
And you said it was Neil Patrick Harris?
Yes, I think it's free on YouTube, or like there's clips of like the Music Meister if you type that into like YouTube and stuff. So good.
Oh my
I don't
God.
know why. Sorry, the 80.
No, it's fine.
I warned Kimmy that we have a.
Yeah, we gotta get off topic.
I have two things. One, Alyssa, you're right. The song was from Beverly Hills Cop. It's a spoof of the Axel F theme.
Yeah, so you'll hear it like immediately when the movie.
There we go. So there's that. Number
Nice.
2, here's my fun fact about Neil Patrick Harris. I could have sang with him in a choir at Disney World, but I didn't because I was like, I'd rather just hang out with my friends. And had I known that I could have been in a choir with Neil Patrick Harris at Disney World, I would have done it.
Was this when he was hosting the Disney Christmas parade?
I think that it might have been that. I'm not really sure. It happened in like 2013 because that's when I did the Disney College program down in Orlando. And I remember I saw one of my friends singing with him. And I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, oh, you should have signed up.
That
Like,
must have been the same
no.
thing because Gabby and James were there when Neil Patrick Harris was the host of the Christmas parade, and James was one of the reindeer that danced in the parade.
Oh my, wait, did James do the Disney College program?
Yeah.
In 2013?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, they
Okay,
left.
that's gonna blow my mind. I might need to.
That's hilarious. Yeah, you got to talk to them because Gabby worked Peter Pan's Flight and It's a Small World.
What? Okay, because I worked at Pinocchio Village House.
That's like right there.
Peter Pan's Flight was like right there.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
I love this.
You said Small World?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Small World was literally attached to Pinocchio Village House, and we had like this window, like where we could like see the people riding on the flumes when they're ending their thing. That is so wild to me.
Oh my God, I love this. I love this so much. Janice.
Yes.
How would you rate this episode? Would you keep it at a 9.1 or would you put it at a perfect 10?
I wouldn't put it at a perfect 10 because we know what episode lives in my heart as a perfect 10.
That's true.
However, I would give it like a 9.8. And that's pretty high.
Yes.
I would give it a 9.8.
For those that don't know, do you want to tell us what your favorite episode is?
Yes. I always want to say it's I Love Lisa.
Aww.
It's my favorite episode.
I love
Or
that.
no, sorry, Lisa Bray. I always want to say that. God, this is my brain, y'all. Oh my God, I'm breaking my booth.
Every time you say that, I'm like, it should have been I Love Lisa.
It should have been I Love
That's a
Lisa, but
great
it's called
title.
Lisa Breaks Ralph's Heart, and it's my favorite episode by far.
Wait,
I
is
think
that
it's
the name of the
perfect.
title?
Yes.
Oh, so it's not called I Love Lisa.
Right?
No.
I know. Missed opportunity.
Exactly.
What? Okay.
I don't know why my brain keeps saying it's I Love Lisa. What are you doing? And I'm like,
No, I would have thought the same thing. That is like oh no, what is that moment called where everyone collectively like is
ESP?
gaslighted or huh?
not ESP.
Wait, no, Janice, you're right. It's called I Love Lisa.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's called I Love Lisa.
What is wrong with my brain?
I'm on the wiki page, and the first quote is, "I love Lisa Simpson. When I grow up, I'm gonna marry her."
Oh, thank God. Okay, because I was like, oh no, did we just like all collectively misremember something?
I'm sorry, I gaslight everybody as
But
well
like
as
your
myself.
brain was like,
Like,
"No, Janice, no, I have it. No,
Oh
you're
my
right. You're right." And you're like, "No."
No,
no,
you
no,
gotta
it's
gaslight
not.
your own brain, girl.
I
That's
know.
something.
I know, there's too much going on up here. Okay, anywho, Alyssa, what would you rate this? Would you give it a perfect 10?
I would not. But I would put it up there. I do think that this is a really great episode. I would probably give it like a 9.7, 9.8.
Very nice.
There's nothing wrong with this episode.
There really isn't.
No,
really
there
isn't.
literally isn't.
I just haven't
It was
found my
perfect.
perfect episode yet. I think I got close today, and I'm a little
Ooh,
worried because
what?
it's a newer episode, and it makes me go like,
Which episode?
It's called Simpson Rama.
You texted me about this earlier today.
It's
Alyssa, tell us about.
Yes, so it's a newer episode. I think it was, what did I say, season 26, episode 6.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't even have to look at my phone. I know that's it.
And it is a crossover between The Simpsons and Futurama.
Okay. I should probably watch that because, admittedly, I recently watched the flop that y'all assigned me to, and I happened to be looking through the rest of the season. I'm like, oh my god, a Futurama crossover? That is
Yep.
so wild.
That's exactly how I watched it.
sense.
I just like kept going after I watched the flop, and then I was like, wait, this is a really good episode.
That's also wild that it took this long to. I mean, I think this came back out in like what 2014 or something, but it's wild that it took that long to finally have a crossover with Matt's two shows.
I know.
Mhm.
It I can't remember when the Family Guy one happened.
Oh yeah, I remember the family. Like, yeah, with Homer and Peter just like beating each other up. I was
Yeah,
like,
I did not
Yeah.
like that episode.
could
And I
not.
think it was because it was a Family Guy episode that was a crossover with The Simpsons and not the other way around.
Yeah,
So
if it was the
they-
other way.
Yeah, so they're able to like get away with more crude stuff. But like because it's The Simpsons, it's not like normal for them to be that crude, so it was weird.
Yeah. I was like, this is off-putting. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Shall we move on to our flop?
Let's switch gears.
Let's switch gears. Let me click on my other document. All right. So our flop, once again, is season 26, episode 1, Clown in the Dumps, rated at a 5.7. This air date is September 28th, 2014. Ooh, we're almost at the 10-year anniversary mark for this episode.
Oh my god. Oh, I feel old.
Janice, do you want to give us a synopsis?
Yes, I am pulling it up right now.
She's pulling it up.
She's
gonna
doing it,
read
she's
to
pulling
us.
it up.
She's gonna tell us what
Clown in the Dumps
happened.
quotes. Clown in the
It's
Dumps.
gonna be great, and then we'll all know about
She's
the
so good at
episode.
reading.
She went to school.
You guys are hilarious. Okay. Clown in the Dumps. Synopses. Ooh. Oh, good lord. That is a name. Okay. Synopses. When Hyman Krustovsky dies during a comedy cable channel's roast of his son, Krusty, he decides to retire. Lisa becomes worried about Homer's deteriorating health.
Excellent.
Tells you absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Tells you the A plot and the B plot.
Oh man, okay, so I had thoughts about this. I had thoughts.
Take it away, Kimmy.
Okay, so I know that this is the first episode of season 26, and I feel like, I mean, I was reading up on it, but there was a lot of like, oh my god, who's gonna die? Someone's gonna die, and then you choose Krusty's dad, who is literally, I mean, like, yeah, he shows up in episodes, but it's not like he's as big as like Mo. Like, if Mo died finally, that would have been just mind blowing, but
You don't
I'm
like
not
Mo?
sure why they chose Krusty's dad.
You don't like Mo?
I love Mo, but I'm just saying,
you
if
were like,
Mo
finally,
died,
and I was like,
no, I love Mo. I love Mo. He's so funny.
You nearly broke Alyssa's heart.
No, I don't want him to die, but I'm saying if they chose someone with a bit more, I guess,
substance.
yeah,
Nah.
history with The Simpsons, and they've
Yeah.
just been
That would have
you
been a
know,
very dark death, though, because of how many times he's tried to
Ooh. Unalive himself.
to unalive himself.
Yeah, that would be sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Glad
right.
they didn't go in that direction.
I'm glad,
Yeah,
but
me
then
too.
they chose anyway. Yeah, so that just felt kind of like not that impactful to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then just going on to like then the B plot of the story, which is I thought could have been more heartwarming because of the amount of times I've seen Lisa and Homer just like bonding one on one with each other. Like the time when they go to the museum, or when she starts getting into vegetarianism, and Homer like eventually like makes amends with her. Like those were very heartwarming moments. But I feel like with the topic that they tried to cover, which is Homer's deteriorating health and Lisa like now being very afraid of his mortality, I thought that they could have had just a bigger pull with that,
Yeah.
a bigger emotional impact with that.
We talked about this in our last episode, that the B plot was sort of better than the A plot, and we wish that the B plot was its own episode.
Yeah.
And I think that
that's where it was gonna go.
I think that this B plot could have also been a really good episode on its own.
Yeah.
No, that's literally, I thought, like, because when I saw like Lisa kind of freak out in the church, like watching Homer just kind of like sleep, I like, my heart immediately was like, oh my god, we're gonna now like watch a whole episode where like Lisa is battling with like her dad's like mortality, and it's gonna get really really sad, but we didn't really get that, and it felt like it was just shoved to the side. And now, damn it, I wish that was its own episode in itself.
Yeah, because she already lost Bleeding Gums Murphy.
And that's what I thought too. I'm like, they handled that death very like poetically and beautifully.
It was so tasteful.
Yeah. So yeah, I was kind of hoping for that, because Lisa's already suffered a loss, but to suffer a loss of like a obviously a family member, that would have been something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I had thoughts on that. I also had thoughts on the honestly, I kind of liked it, but then I was like, whoa, this is wild, because it's going on for a long time. But the couch gag.
Oh my god.
This is actually the longest featured couch gag to date.
Yes.
Really?
It is 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was going to get into the couch gag.
Do you want to tell us who animated, directed?
So,
yes.
Don Hertzfeldt was the guest animator for this couch gag, and he is an Oscar-winning animated artist for The World of Tomorrow, which premiered in 2014 also. This couch gag was described by The couch gag was described by Spin Magazine as mind-melting and two of the strangest 2 minutes of television ever to air on a major network during prime time.
I mean, I agree. But also, as someone who really enjoys like very avant-garde, weird animated stuff, like I don't know if anyone's ever seen like Off the Air on Adult Swim at like 2 a.m. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that.
We just talked about that yesterday.
Really? Too. Oh my god. I'm just like, wow. Like if I was just doing all the drugs in the world and watching this 2-minute couch gag, I would be set for life.
My first thought watching this, I'm like, it's giving E-Bomb's World.
Yes, 1,000%. But I'm also not mad about it. Like,
no,
either.
I was like, it's so odd. But like, this is very much like the kind of thing that we would watch as kids and be like, it's so fucking weird.
Yes,
it's like salad fingers, you know.
Salad fingers, dude. Salad fingers still scares me.
Oh yes, no, as he should. He's terrifying.
His rusty spoon.
Yes.
The chalkboard gag for this one says, spoiler alert, unfortunately my dad doesn't die, which I wasn't sure about at first. I didn't get it, but as Kimmy had said, they kind of like led that somebody was going to die in this episode, and so that was literally a spoiler alert at the beginning of the episode that it's not Homer.
Right.
It's not Homer.
It's not Homer. And I was like, oh.
But it wasn't Mo either.
I know. I'm glad it shouldn't be. Kimmy, come on.
It should be Mo. I'm sorry. Like, Mo is going to live forever.
Yes, we love Mo.
Can you imagine him being the one that lives forever?
That would be so ironic for him. He would hate it.
Yeah. Or maybe he would like it a little bit because everyone would be gone.
I imagine him being like the guy from my brain short-circuited. The Twilight Zone, where he's the last person at the end of the world and he finally can read these books and then his glasses break. Like, that's how I imagine Mo. And he's like, finally I can drink all the beer in the world, and then they all just like explode. He's like
Ooh, or I could finally shoot all the rats in the world.
But they're
Or
already dead. Like something that he would
yeah,
love to do, but he can't. And
yeah.
I just see that being Mo's future, and it makes me sad for him.
Oh,
Ooh.
poor
Um,
Mo.
before we get into fun facts that we learned, I'm gonna quickly spit off the director and the writer.
Yes.
The director of this episode was Stephen Dean Moore, who directed The Simpsons and a couple Rugrat episodes. And the writer was Joel H. Cohen, who has only ever written for The Simpsons, so not too
Wow.
crazy of people. They haven't done too much. Um, but let me hear your fun facts, Janice.
Yes.
What is
Yes.
some fun
Yes.
fact?
Okay. First of all, Maurice LaMarche is in this episode, and so is Sarah Silverman. I am obsessed with Maurice LaMarche. He is one of the like big Mel Blancs of our time, one of the big Hank Azarias, one of the big Nancy Cartwrights.
Mm.
Okay, he is fantastic. He's from Pinky and the Brain, thousands of voices on Futurama, including Kiff.
I love him.
Yeah, so like he's great. Anywho, at the roast, Jeffrey Ross jokes that Krusty is to comedy what Martin Luther King is to comedy. He made the same joke in 1998 at the New York Friars Club roast of Drew Carey, comparing Carey to Mariah Carey.
Oh wow. Dang.
Roasts are mean.
They're so
I don't
mean.
know if I could take that.
I hate them.
I actually got excited though hearing Jeff Ross, because I was like, wait, if they're doing a roast, I'm hoping that's Jeff Ross, and it was Jeff Ross. It was confirmed in the credits for me because I grew up watching a lot of Comedy Central roasts of.
Oh my god.
So that got me excited, and also seeing Sarah Silverman too. And did not know that Rodney Dangerfield is still alive, or at least was still alive during the filming of that.
Really?
Yeah. Also, I think the most recent roast televised was Tom Brady's. Was it not?
I'm not sure
I
because
don't do roasts. They make me
stopped having
sad.
cable.
Also, like, who even has cable anymore?
Not me.
I saw it when I was scrolling. I don't know if you had to pay for it though. If it was like one of those paid things, but I don't know. I don't watch football. I don't care about Tom Brady, so I didn't watch it.
Don't let him hear you. He'll
Oh,
find you. And he'll
no.
throw a football at you.
Oh
that's
no!
not
Oh my
Janice.
nose!
Oh my nose!
Here's a fun fact that I just thought of. Rodney Dangerfield, who, once again has his cameo up in Jewish Heaven, he also voices Mr. Burns' son. If anyone remembers Mr. Burns' son's name. Uh-oh.
I don't even remember that he had a son.
Wait,
What?
really?
I don't remember either. I remember Bart was Montgomery's heir for a while.
Yeah, okay, so this is season 8, episode 4. It's Burns, baby Burns, and he has a long-lost son named Larry. And Larry is voiced by Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh my god.
How
Okay.
interesting. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really
I
gonna
need
have to
to triple fact check myself now, too, because I'm like, uh-oh, is that fake news?
Larry Burns?
Larry Burns, yeah.
Oh, I do remember that.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Now that I'm seeing a picture of it.
Yeah, I remember.
And it is Rodney Dangerfield. Boom.
It is. He is so freaking funny. I mean, he just has one of those voices and charismas that's just
Mhm.
like, zzz, like, I don't know. It just goes right through you,
timeless.
into your veins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a good voice.
Yeah.
Do you have any
Good
other
voice.
fun facts for us, Kimmit?
Here's a fun fact. This episode was just really was just like to me. But I will say this. There have been times where I actually did chuckle out loud. I counted like 3 times, and I'm like, you know what? I think I should give the newer seasons a chance. Because I feel like I really have been adamantly like not watching past maybe season 14 or 15. I know I've seen those seasons throughout my life, but I feel like whenever I do rewatches, it's just like usually seasons 5 through like 14.
Right.
But now that I gave episode 1 of 26 a chance, it does give me a little bit of hope, being like, you know what, it's not as bad as I was making it out to be, because I don't want to try to be like one of the Simpsons purists, or it's like, oh no, like new Simpsons, blah. Like I do want to give it a chance. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you guys made me take
Yeah.
that chance.
I will say that
Yes.
most of the new ones are not greatly rated. But that being said, most of them are higher than this one's rated. So if you like this one,
And it was okay. So I'm like, okay, maybe like it will get better.
before we move on to one-liners and like favorite parts of the show, I do have one fun fact on my end. I guess it's not a fun fact. It's kind of a sad fact. But this episode was dedicated in memory of Louis Castellaneta, the father of Dan Castellaneta, who died in August of 2014 at age 99.
Wow.
What a life.
That's
incredible.
I thought that was very sweet, though.
That is sweet.
Did you know that Dan Castellaneta hails from Chicago?
I actually did know that.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yo, there's some great talent that comes from Chicago. I mean, can we just Rachel Brosnan, my love. Oh my god, hold on. Oh, this is so embarrassing.
Okay, we'll
I
cut
hate
it.
myself.
No one will know it's embarrassing.
Alex Bornstein.
Oh, nice.
Alex
Jason
Bornstein is
Lewis.
from like Plainfield, like
No
south
way.
of suburbs of Chicago. Yeah, she's from like Plainfield.
That's where my cousins are from. That's amazing.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Alex Bornstein plays Lois in Family Guy.
She was also in Mad TV.
She
And
was
Mrs. Maisel.
Ugh.
Oh, I
loved
haven't
her.
seen Mrs. Maisel yet.
Okay,
Oh, you
if you
need
watch
to.
Mrs. Maisel, first of all, she's freaking hilarious. Especially when she and Jane Lynch are together, they are just freaking
Jane Lynch.
hilarious.
Okay, say
It's
less.
gold.
Say less. I did not know Jane Lynch was in this show.
Oh yes, absolutely. And then she had a special on, I believe it was Hulu or Paramount Plus, Clowns and Corsets, I think it was called. It's her one-woman show. It was fantastic. And it was aired and streamed. Yeah.
Amazing.
Wow. We have so many fun facts.
So many fun facts. Let's move on to favorite one-liners, favorite moments. Janice, do you have any like favorite moments or one-liners that you want to hit us with?
I really don't have any favorite one-liners of this. Maybe the joke about like the Martin Luther King joke, but that's no. Not really. No,
Okay.
I don't.
Kimmy, do you have any?
My favorite moment when I was like, hey, that's Jeffrey Ross.
Good.
I just like his roasts.
I had a lot.
Spill it.
Do it.
Okay, so I really, really enjoyed Chief Wiggum showing everybody at the sleepover all the crime scene photos.
Oh,
It's
I
like,
forgot all
Millhouse,
about
wake
that.
up! I know you're not sleeping.
Oh my god.
like this is the real world. I'm like, you know what? I would appreciate that, honestly. Like, yeah, sure, you might traumatize me, but at least I'll be so anxious that I'll never leave my home and get murdered.
Right. I also really like the quote, "I'll show you, Flabby," and then like Homer proceeds to shove Bart into his stomach. And my first thought was, that's something my dad would have done when we were kids, but like as a joke, he would be like, "Come get my belly," and we'd be like, "Go, go."
It's like, yeah, that's right. It's all muscle. That was a moment that also made me laugh. I'm like, yeah, that now that feels like very old Simpsons to me.
The one moment that got me so good was when Homer was trying to sit up in the pew and he grabs the beam of light to try to like lift himself up.
Oh my god.
I didn't mean to thumbs down. But he grabs the beam of light, tries to lift himself up, and like I was like, if I wasn't really like looking at what he was trying to grab, I wouldn't have noticed.
Oh my god.
And it was just so good. And then I feel like I mean, this episode felt like it could go on longer, and I feel like it just sort of ended. And I was like, oh, I feel like we just started though.
Ooh, it should have been like maybe a 2-part episode, kind of like
Yeah.
Who Shot Mr. Burns in a way.
Ooh, do you think it was really that, I don't know, do you think it was that great of a story to continue on though? Or do you think they should have just done a better job of managing their time?
I think
Mhm.
that. I think there was maybe too. I think they mushed too much of Krusty grieving into this episode where they could have like extended it out longer. And I think we could have gotten more out of, like Kimmy was saying, out of Homer and Lisa's relationship out of this. I think that if they were each their own episode, it would have been better.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And you know what's interesting? The
Heard.
fact that, I don't know, I would have thought that if anything, like maybe Lisa and Krusty could have had a moment together if she's so worried about her dad dying.
Yeah, that would have been really nice
It would have been
too.
a really nice touching because we don't really see a lot of moments with like Krusty and Lisa. So
Yeah,
I would
no.
be interested in seeing that kind of, you know, conversation where they're trying to comfort each other in their own way.
Yeah.
I wonder if, because like Lisa doesn't idolize Krusty the way that Bart does,
Mm-hmm.
but she still like goes to the Krusty anniversary show and like, she goes to like, the Krusty camp and all that stuff. Like, does she really like Krusty that much, or does she like it because Bart likes it?
I'm sure she likes it because Bart likes it. Because she never
It's a
laughs when she's
sibling
there.
thing.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm.
I think being in a moment with those two, it wouldn't be like, oh, I trust Krusty so much. It would be like somebody just lost somebody very close to them, and now I'm having panics about that. And like that moment would have been really nice because we don't see them interacting very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking that the episode would have came to that because I'm always like, oh, the A and the B plots are somehow going to get melded back together. Didn't happen.
In the earlier
We
season,
should have written the episode.
Ooh. Ooh. Maybe a little, maybe a little collab with Conan O'Brien in there as well.
I'll call it my husband. He's on speed dial.
I was on speed dial.
Speed dial. Yes.
Conan, he's like, stop calling me.
How did you get this number?
How do you keep getting my number?
Go away.
Like, I love you. Bye. Okay. Well, I mean, that's all I had for that one. So do we want to move on to the judgment process?
Absolutely. Let's judge it.
Let's judge it. Kimmy,
Yes.
this episode once again was rated at a 5.7. Would you agree? Disagree? If so, why?
Yeah, I would put it there. Like, it wasn't the worst episode I've seen, such as when Principal Skinner has like a secret identity, that whole Armin Tasmanian thing or whatever. So it's not the worst thing I've seen, but it's also not the best thing I've seen. And I did have my qualms, but I will give it some brownie points because once again, it did make me chuckle several times. And for it being a new episode that I've never, or a newer episode that I've never seen, I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, it does feel like The Simpsons to me. It's not so out of the box or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would give it that rating.
Excellent. Excellent. Janice.
Yeah, I think it could be maybe a little bit higher just because we have some worse episodes that were rated higher. So I would put this at like a 5.9 or a 6 even. I mean, it wasn't the worst episode, like you said. I mean, the B plot was so good. It would have been beautiful on its own. Or if that was just the story based off of like, what happened in the A plot. But yeah, I just don't, nothing in here really stood out to me, but at the same time, I don't think it should be rated so low.
Noted.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I would raise it. I'd put it at like 6.87.
Ooh.
6.8.
I think
nice.
I think it was good. I think I found it funny. I thought the plot between Homer and Lisa felt very much like the relationship between me and my dad, and so like I like felt that. And there were just like such small moments that I found funny, but also like really, really nice. And it is a newer episode, and so those are kind of hard to find. And I think that it should not be rated lower than some of the other worst episodes that we've watched. And I think it deserves to be higher up there. I'm not saying like let's give it a 9, let's give it an 8, but like it deserves to be like in like the 75% somewhere up there.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Interesting. I validate all of our answers.
I love it. Okay, do we have any other final thoughts on these episodes? What did you think of watching them back to back?
Ooh, as in like watching the older episode compared to the newer episode, because that is actually what I did.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm just really craving an older episode with like the older hand-drawn animations versus whatever we're getting right now. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I will give it to the writers from like this day and age. Like, kudos to y'all for continuing a legacy that I feel like is just very hard to, appease to all fans
Yes.
of all different ages. So I appreciate and love everyone who's involved with The Simpsons. I'm going to be so devastated, knocking on wood, that it never ends, because Mo will never die. Therefore, The Simpsons will never die. Um, but as much as, people like to guff on The Simpsons and being like, oh, it's not the same, I still love that it's here in our lives, because
Yeah.
it has made such an impact on me. And I know that it has for you too.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Janice?
Yeah, watching these back to back, like, you hit the nail on the head, Kimmy. Like, there's something about those old animation, like, drawings. It's not as quick or smooth, and I enjoy that so much about the older episodes. And it is freaking hard to fill the legacy of these incredible writers who created this. But I also think it's those writers' duties from before to help pass the torch in a way that like helps them, give them uh the motivation to do it authentically themselves, but also keep true to, what was there. Because like I personally think The Simpsons is for like the everyman, or middle America or middle low America. I don't think it's for the high at all, for like the 1%. I think it's for us, like the normal people, the working people, the blue collars of the world. And yeah, I feel like it's getting a little bit away from that, and I kind of want to like reel it back in.
Yeah.
Reel it back to the roots.
Exactly. Get a bit more real, but also poking fun at it. Like, remember the flu epidemic episode?
I thought you meant
Where the
COVID.
mosquito?
I'm like, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I was like, we were all there.
Like, not like in the prediction sense, like, don't bring it back to like, that, but I don't know, just to everyday things that people deal with, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The newer episodes definitely they've strayed away from realism and really started going like a little more outside of that realm. I think they ran out of ideas and they're like, well, let's expand our universe. Let's allow some of this crazy shit to happen. Let's give it more. I feel like the newer seasons. This is a good thing. Not a good thing, but like I think I figured out the comparison. The newer seasons feel more Family Guy than they do Simpsons.
Oh.
Do you think it's because there's more celebrity in there, or?
I think it's the absurdity of some instances. Like I was watching one of the newer episodes where like a helicopter just like came up out of a bus and then like flew really quick, as opposed to like being a helicopter and taking off, and like it didn't have the realistic like things that The Simpsons really like strive for and had in the earlier episodes, where things were more realistic, especially with what's his butt that was obsessed with Marge, that was like really rich.
Ziff?
Artie?
Artie Ziff.
Artie. And he, like, I just remember he had a helicopter, and when he got off of his, it was still going, and he had to, like, do this, and it took a while to, like, lift off. And then this one was just like, boop, boop, and it just reminded me a lot of Family Guy. And I don't know if they use the same animators or what, but I think that they morphed sort of into that style of absurdity without going too crude, because that's kind of where society is right now.
Mm.
Wow. That's poignant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like really
It's a good
deep.
observation.
Yeah. It's like, damn, you are onto something.
Yeah.
Yes, I like to watch like a lot of TV, so sometimes I'm like really smart, and sometimes I can't think of words. So
You're like really cultured.
I try.
She's so smart.
All right.
SMRT.
Let's close this bitch out.
Yeah. As always, thank you so much for listening in. And if you're on YouTube for watching, please make sure to subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. We have some fun bloopers that come up, and also our top and flop polls that we do. So please vote for your favorite episode. Make sure, and your least favorite episode, make sure your voice is heard, because we will start getting closer and closer in our bracket to the best episode ever and the worst episode ever. So please make sure to engage.
Yes, engage. And we will see you next week as we talk about our top. which is going to be season 8, episode 2, You Only Move Twice, rated at a 9.2. And our flop, which is season 27, episode 1, Every Man's Dream, rated at a 5.6. And Kimmy, send us off.
Yeah.
Smell you later. Just like
Beautiful.
Nelson did.
It was beautiful.
So beautiful.
So good at voice acting.